Hi, this is Dixie with thefoolsjourney.com here with next week's forecast. And answer to the burning question, is Thor the Warrior Kitten going to eat my mic cord today? We will see. Howdy, thanks for staying tuned. Today we are looking at the forecast for March 6th through 12th, 2017. When did that happen? I have the Radiant Rider-Waite deck here, and I'm just going to hop right in and see what I get. I don't know that my water needs to be in the film. Film, that's old school, isn't it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oot. Okay. I laughed because we started out with the Eight of Wands and moved right over to the Eight of Swords and moved right over to the Eight of Wands. So we are getting some tarot eights here in the deal. We've got a number of wands and some swords, light on the cups and light on the pentacles. So not real emotional week. I would say it's not a touchy-feely kind of emotional week, okay, to clarify that a little bit. Okay, let's see. What do I want to tell you? Monday, limitations are self-imposed. When I get the Eight of Swords, that's pretty much the story. And I want to say that I'm seeing this in the context of having scripts for how things are supposed to go. And when people aren't fitting into your scripts, then there's some kind of... So how about figuring out your own part and not worrying about anybody else's? It'll go much better for you. Okay? Tuesday, Eight of Wands, upright. When you see the Eight of Wands, there's a feeling of everything's up in the air. I don't know what's going to happen. Everything's just kind of... And I know that's uncomfortable. I do know, however, that with the Eight of Wands, that feeling is short term. Okay, things generally settle down pretty quickly. It's already in motion. It's already happening. So chill and kind of let it go. Wednesday, I've got the Five of Wands. Are you fighting with somebody? Do you really need to be? Because the Five of Wands is a lot of unnecessary kerfuffle. The phrase, choose your battles, comes to mind. That's advice that I give out pretty frequently anyway. In particular, though, about Wednesday, what I want to say is there's a sense to me that what something means to you is very different than what it means to somebody else. If somebody supports a particular political stance or doesn't support a particular cause or wants to do X instead of Y, or, you know, whether it's in an individual micro scale or whether it's on a global scale, the sense I have is of it meaning one thing to you and something very, very different to the other person. And I think that that's going to be kind of rampant in the coming weeks. So respect, and not just respect for your own viewpoint or to go through and judge somebody else's opinions or thoughts and respect that if you find it respect worthy. I mean respect for the sense that everyone is an individual. They have their own viewpoint. It may not agree with yours, because if you go trying to force other people to be you this coming week, it is not going to go well. Not that it ever does, but consider that point clarified, okay? Thursday, I've got the Knight of Wands inverted. Anytime I get a Knight inverted, I generally want to warn folks to be wary of acting impulsively. Yeah, go ahead and act on your passion, but there's a sense of kind of a separation here Like your vision is not universally acknowledged or accepted. And I want to say, stay in your heart space, stay heart-centered, stay true to what's important to you, but don't insist that anybody else understands you. Because the truth is, few, if anybody, ever really does anyway. And that's way less important than just being you. So you slow the brakes a little bit. You get as excited as you want to, but don't look for somebody else to validate your excitement. Okay, that's the big thing. Don't look for somebody else to validate your excitement, because it'll be like a wet blanket right on top of things. Not good. Friday, I've got the Six of Pentacles reversed. Now, this is a repeat from recent weeks, and generally I will do the whole, hey, don't share what you don't have. Don't look at other people's charity cases, yada, yada, yada. But I want to take it a step further. There's a tendency, and it's kind of crackly right now, where people are not generous with assumptions as they could be. In other words, assume people mean well. Assume people have their reasons for it. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to judge it. In some ways, the age of social media has kind of contributed to a culture where we feel like it's our job to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down or an angry face or a sad face to everything that everybody does. And if you want to be supportive, or if you want to confront it, it's up to you. But I just think that you're going to do better, and in particular at this time on this day, you'll do better not worrying so much about that. I heard somebody one time say they don't worry about forgiveness because they don't feel like it's their place to judge the rightness or wrongness of other people's actions to begin with. And I realize that that's an extreme position for most people, because most people are like, some things are just right and some things are just wrong. And I get that. But if you can move a little bit towards the not my business end of that stick, it's going to serve you. Okay. Saturday, I have the Page of Swords inverted. Anytime I see this page inverted, I will expect some miscommunication or potential for missed messages or wires getting crossed in terms of communication. Also, possibility for harsh words, and I have the feeling that these particular words are just more blunt, that there's no negative intention. There's no malicious feeling about them at all, but there is the possibility of accidentally saying something you weren't trying to say, or accidentally hurting somebody's feelings with the words. So be aware of it, okay? Sunday, I have the Knight of Cups upright. Ooh, this is a lovely card to end the week on, because it's very it's kind of an emotional energy, but upright, I'm going to say that it's probably emotionally supportive and comfortable and safe, which means if you feel sad, okay, be sad. Cry your cry, and then look for ways to feel better. If you feel happy, awesome. It's a good day to love and feel love, and you may think that you don't have any choice in whether or not you feel love, but that's really, really not necessarily the case. As a matter of fact, if you focus on loving feelings wherever they come from, it doesn't have to be romantic. Okay, not all love includes penis or vagina. I know. If you focus on the general loving feelings and things that you do love, you're going to create that atmosphere and create that energy, and it will feel awesome. And it's a really good way to start the week. Overall, my sense of my just kind of week at a glance scope here, okay, is the less you try to control other people, the less you try to control situations and circumstances and conditions, outside conditions, the better off you're going to be. All control starts at home, okay? So that's my message for the week. I hope it's helpful or interesting or useful to you. And if not, I did what I could. Take care. Peace out from Dixie the Zen Goddess. Bye-bye. And the phrase choose your value or choose your values. Now, that's an interesting Freudian slip, isn't it? In some ways, this age of social media, it's kind of Thor. No. I heard somebody one time say, Kat,